Can I start, Sehu?
Nay, you can begin.
Okay, go on. Uja, this is Lucinaida, session 15. And I'm presenting today the ancient Egyptian morning devotional liturgy in hieroglyph transliteration with English and Portuguese translation of Egyptian transliteration. Fully illustrated by Sehu para Ankh. Approaching to the deity. Duamu, Shinefu ben FN Hiru Akuchi, Anitesh Hirki Ram, Nefeneb Ruben, Duamu, Shinefu ben FN Hiru Akuchi, Anitesh Hirki Ram, Nefeneb Ruben, Duamu, Shinefu ben FN Hiru Akuchi, Anitesh Hirki Ram, Nefenebuben, Duamu, Chelefuben, Fenheru Hakuchi, Anetesh Hekera, Nefenebuben. Arigen, Segert, Och, Sed, Udu, Keft, Udu, Jed. Tuashem Su en Nebejer, Sehu en Kepra. Dua sah neb restau paut neteru at ani neterkert. Anetesh ka kenti amentet nefer abdu. Matentu a I ku anek arati restau. Seteka segert. Aku sari nehast. Ubed sente. Set enka def siit neter uni entet ena yash emneter. Asah ehdit emdek arihiru enaher me ens arihiru haus huatiti. Arijet, sorry, arinej. Ab uanete. Abu pen ha asar. Abu pen asar. Sper em hiru. Aripert. Nehast. Sa. Ujad panete. Asa ari hiru kept an asset abo ia tujen. Medit medut aram yan so medut yan asset sa ujan. Setep sa her amset enti sa asa. Sa amset asa amset. Meduch nebet et ap sheta aribesa. Her happy enti sa asar sa. Happy asar pa asar. Meduch yan net setwa ra. Semesher ru neb ari mat em. Duamotev enti sa asar. Sa duamotev asar pa duamotev. Meduch yan sekert en ka seketet. Sa heru neb ari mat em kepsinwel. Entet sa asa sa kepsinwel. Asa pa kepsinwel. Duat ari ra em o atom f2. Nebetert medut anetesh her asar. Putra. Magdi saki setu sakaki. Nebetert medut anetesh her ka asar. Putra. Magdi saki setu sakaki. Nebetert medut anetesh her ka asar. Putra. Magdi saki setu sakaki. Nebetert medut anetesh her ka asar. Putra. Magdi saki setu sakaki. Ari jen seket. Ari dua ke. Ikaw uasho. Amon mut konsum. Amon mut konsum. Amon Konsu, Amor, Konsu, Om Amunapta, Om Amunapta, Om Amunapta, Om Amunapta, Om Asana Sehu, Om Asana Sehu, Om Asana Sehu, Om Asana Sehu, Hiru Makiru, Hiru Makiru, Hiru Makiru, Hiru Makiru, Aset, 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 Amau and Ram Nepet Ang Ujasine Ariniteru 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 Nuk Hatien Keperu 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 Net net doanet Sefekera sinues Net, net, dua net, se fequera sem juez. 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 Het hiru, 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 lua tu 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 hiru. Nuk nebeje. Nuk nebeje. Nuk nebeje. Nuk nebeje. Nefer entrar em atom. Nefer entrar em atom. Nefer entrar em atom. Nefer entrar em atom. Makiru Imam Nebeje Makiru Imam Nebeje Makiru Imam Nebeje Makiru Imam Nebeje Nuk Hua Hua Nuk Hua Hua Nuk Hua Hua Nuk Hua Hua Nuk Ma'at 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 Look ma'at, look ma'at, look ma'at, look at. Noot, 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 noot. Asa, 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 Sehu, Sehu, Jed, Wasen, Anifu, Kepitu, Embat, and Jasu, Sulu, Aimhute. Aset wa sojan, Hiru, sojan, Minu, Nehu, Sen, F set, F sen asah. Aset etepi, soja, Awitu, Yasu, Neshisu. Nebu em hu shimu metmitu. Tamu, tamu, sepnidu, neshteta. Ua menti, heru, kat, neken, abt, tetu, kim, hena, sefa, ha, ra, jigit, kat, hena. Asah, pta, kepra. Medut, ra, kad, nefi. Asah, kepra. Dua hain, dua ker. Nuk, aset, perka. U, en, nayet, ret, enu, setersa. Medu, en, jehuti, her, tep, maat. En pet, ta, Ater, Asar, Neter, Nefer, Ger, Pu, Ankh, Seske, SB, Ament, San, Enken, Pu, F, Enen, Hanu, F, Medi, F, Nebker, Dit, Deb, F, R, F, T, en Dit, N, F, Tawi. Oahai, Oake. Hiruma Hiru, Hiruma Hiru, Hiruma Hiru, Hiruma Hiru, Nuk Chapara M2O, Ra En Au, Temu Ami Mashi. Nuk Chapara M2O, Ra Em Auf, Temu Ami Mashi. Nuk Chapara M2O, Ra En Auf, Temu Ami Mashi. Oahai, Oake. Neteru M ha sorry, N Sen Ra. Tragédie. Tef aha. Aha em meter. Em aha er a em meter. Em aha em 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 meter. Em aha em meter. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Dua, ito. Dua, Sehu. Dua, Ebu.
Dua. And dua for you for filling in and providing a nice devotional.
Dua,
Okay, so as a brief review, we're going over the Ben stone of Amenemhat as we are doing a brief study of the pyramids, of what a pyramid is and its purpose as intended by the sages, and also uh, the the metaphysics behind them. It briefly is a brief presentation. And I just put together this little document to share some of the principles, one of which is the comparison of the interior of the larger pyramid to the smaller ones at Saqqara. The larger pyramids, you know, the huge, massive ones with millions of blocks of stone, they don't have any writings in the interior. However, the smaller ones do. So it's a different focus from the smaller ones and the larger ones. As was said before, the larger ones are metaphysical devices. The smaller ones, too, also are metaphysical devices, but they have a different operation because of its construction and the usage of text, which are referred to as the pyramid text. But these large ones, they don't have text. So it's a different kind of metaphysical focus, but they lead to the same result. And that's enlightened mind. So we went over the opening of the original, was purported to be the original opening of the large temple pyramid, the temple of Giza, was commonly referred to as the Khufu pyramid. And now we're starting the study of this stone. And we've already discussed the iconography at the very top of the stone and this line of text under the iconography. And in Kemetic literature, the iconography goes along with the text. So the iconography lends context to the text, and the text extrapolates on the iconography. Stone is referred to as a Benben stone. And the Benben relates to the first coagulated, non-objectified form appearance of spirit in the realm of time. So this stone is an architectural representation of a spiritual reality. Call it a dimension, a plane field. But it's really a spiritual essence form. The Benben is related to the Bennu bird, which the Bennu is the prototype for the Greek phoenix, as we've discussed. And so we discussed the Bennu bird and what it means. Then we went through the text and discussed the construction of the text with the sun disk in the center of the lines, separating the two lines of text. And now we are discussing this very first line of text under, this can be referred to as a rubric text. So now we're in the narrative. And we're going to start, we divided this line into two parts. So we're going to start here. So we're going to cover from here to here to begin. And so all of these words relate to this text. And we did some work with it last week. So we're just going to add a few aspects that we didn't touch on last week. So from here to here are all this transliterated and this contextual work here. Meruje wun at her nesubiti neb dawi maat endra ma f neb aket uja em dept f her. Word said exists door for personality ruler. And so this is a translation that is being read now. Ruler of two lands, Lord over the two lands, who is righteous in creator spirit consciousness. See his divine light, vital burning in divine both, his personality. So the term Meruje here Meruje these words pertain to. Meruje, so words of words by, words pertaining to, or words said. But exist for this personality who is being referred to as Nesubiti. These words pertain to this personality who is being referred to as the ruler of the two lands. Okay. The ruler of the two lands. And it's said here, Nesubiti, Negdawi. So the king, the monarch of the two lands, lord over the two lands. And the two lands refer to a kind of spiritual mastery over, in the context that we are going to use it pertaining to this type of text. He is master over the higher and lower self. So that means he abides in the higher consciousness and has overcome the lower nature, the lower propensities, the egoism of the personality. So these words pertain to that spiritual mastery of rulership over the two lands, which is a mystic metaphor for the higher and lower nature. The lower nature is sublimated through spiritual discipline. Just spiritual discipline within four dimensions of four paths of spiritual evolution. Rek, wisdom, Ua, meditation, Uwashu, devotion, Ma'at Ari, righteous action. And emulation of the qualities of divinity. So you have to emulate, the practice of emulating the principles of the deity. You emulate them through your personality. These are aspects of one's own personality. So this mystic metaphor is letting us know that this person, Ma'at and Ra, I don't know why I'm drawing geometric figures. Ma'at and Ra, whose name is here in the Shenu. Sehu is commonly referred to as a cartouche. It's the object which the name resides, and let us know that this is a circumscribed personality. So what that means is that this personality is, we're referring to a personality who is flesh and you can see the physical body, what you call flesh and blood, and you can see him or her walking, talking, using language, etc. But it's telling us that this Ma'at and Ra, this personality, has achieved a certain level of spiritual mastery as the Nesubiti. Commonly, Nesubiti is translated as king or ruler over the south and the north of Kemet, but in certain historical context, that is true. But when we're working with these spiritual objects, these metaphysical objects and the metaphysical texts, metaphysical and mystical texts, these designations are mystic metaphors. So we're not here referring to a king, a monarch in the common sense. We're looking at a monarch of one's own truth, one's self, a ruler of your personality through your spiritual attainment. You've attained something. That's mastery over the lower and abiding in the higher. And this personality is being told that he's righteous in creator spirit consciousness. That's what his name means. And righteous in truth. In creator spirit consciousness. So what that means is that if you're righteous in truth and creator spirit consciousness, it means that this is something that you experience. It's not an intellectual understanding of something. To gain the truth of this spirit consciousness, it is something that you experience. And therefore, words, this is not a truth that comes about by words. This is a truth and righteousness that comes about by the mystic experience that reveals the inner mystery of this spirit consciousness. And for that to occur, for this righteousness, for this righteous and creative spirit consciousness to occur, you need purity. And how you purify yourself, again, is through spiritual discipline, through the four paths of spiritual evolution. Spiritual discipline intimates a consistent, seamless practice of the teachings with awareness intention of purifying the personality. And we're talking about the unconscious mind, so that the inner mystery of spirit can be experienced, discovered. So you're not seeking something that is an antithesis to your true nature. You're seeking that which is the realization of one's own true nature. So what happens is that human beings, in essence, debunk their own true divine nature. They think the divine is outside of them. God is up there, over there, the other there, the God is the other. And in Kemetic mystical philosophy, the divine is essentially your true your true nature. You don't have to go anywhere to discover God or to be with God. God is essentially within you. So this is a non-dual perspective. And I'm using the word perspective, but this perspective has been substantiated by mystic experience of the sages. That's how you get this kind of text, and essentially how you get the kind of civilization there was in, was referred to as Egypt, Kemet, is that you must have some kind of proof of the mystic nature of being. And the only way that you can prove it is that you have to experience it. It's like you trying to explain to someone who has never tasted chocolate ice cream, vegan, what chocolate ice cream tastes like. You can explain it to them and they'll get some idea. But for them to know it intuitively, they would have to taste that ice cream for themselves. Similarly, the teachings, the literature are like the finger pointing to the moon. If a finger is pointing to the moon, the proof is not in the finger, the proof is in the moon. So the text and the teachings are the guide that is pointing towards the mystic reality of being. Where one can discover this divine light in the divine abode here. Aket. So here's Aket. So spirit light. Uja. Vital, burning. Depth, M, N, depth, both. The spirit light in the divine both. This is equating the royal personality with creator spirit consciousness, Ra. Ra is in his boat and he travels from Kepra in the morning, Ra in the afternoon, Tem in the evening, and Afu or Alf in the netherworld, the boat of Ra. So it's essentially saying that the essence of being is the same as the essence of Ra, creator spirit consciousness. The and here it says F her, his personality. So this creator spirit consciousness is essentially his personality. And this person is a metaphor for you, the spiritual seeker. So you can reflect on what that means. And it's saying that the essence of that royal is the same as that spirit being, Ra. Essentially means that you and Ra are the same, not identical, because identical would mean that there is a duality. You're identical to something else. So we're not talking about identical, sameness, lack of separation. The issue is the discovery of that mystic reality of self. That's the issue. That's essentially the problem to be uh, addressed. And if that issue is not addressed, what you have is egoism, pride. Egoism is characterized by anger, envy, jealousy, greed, the negativities of the personality. And if you were to dedicate yourself to spiritual discipline, what would happen is that those negativities of the personality, you'll start to sublimate them. And then essentially what would happen is that it would be so attenuated, it'll be as if you had pulled them out at the root. And you know what happens when you pull a plant out at the root? The plant cannot live, it cannot survive. And how do you get to where you're pulling these plants out by the roots, meaning the egoism? Again, the four Shetty disciplines. They are referred to as Shetty disciplines. There are four of them, as we've discussed. But practicing these disciplines with focus, intention, because people practice Shetty disciplines all the time. It's what are they practicing with focus, intention to reconstruct the unconscious mind that will impel the movement towards spiritual awakening, enlightenment. That's what you're trying to do. So you're trying to turn the energy of the mind inwards, to lead the soul to discovery of its essential nature. And that is the path to peace, meaning hetet, meaning union of opposites. And then you go, you go beyond hetet, realize there are no opposites. Okay, so there's much more that can be said about, as you can see how the lines are, you see once you start looking into it, what can be drawn out. And this is what we do in our classes for hours and hours and hours and hours, and lecture upon lecture upon lecture. And so the fruit of the teaching comes out. If you allow it to inundate your mind, reframe your unconscious, then there's a positive spiritual evolutionary process that can take place. So dua for the wonderful devotional this morning. I think the time change, I think there is a time change, and that's why some people were not on. So I wasn't aware of the time change. It probably should have been if there was. I don't know. We'll solve the issue for next time. So dua everyone, till we meet again, and dua for the wonderful devotional. Attack.
Dua Sehu.